Hey, Super Dan here. So this is one in a series of videos regarding me being an instructor, how I came to instructing and that sort of thing. And this one has to do with how did I get out in Gresham, Oregon? Now, anybody outside of Oregon would wonder, where in the heck is Gresham? And Gresham's about 11 miles east of downtown Portland. And how did I end up there? Well, it's actually kind of a funny story because back in the early 80s, there was this kid, tremendous kata player, just wonderful kata player. His name was Kurt Miller, and his dad and his stepmother took him around to all the tournaments and so forth, and this kid was winning like crazy. He was a Japanese karate stylist, and his forms were crisp, very sharp, his basic, very powerful. He didn't fare very well in fighting, and so his dad basically hired me to come out and give him private lessons on how to fight. And so every week, my ex-wife and I, Lynn, would go out and I'd coach him for about an hour, and I'd get out there on the dojo floor with him. He had a little dojo in his basement, and we would go out there and we would train. And then afterwards, I'd come upstairs, and Don Miller, who was his dad, and Christy Ryan, his stepmother, Don and Christy and Lynn and I would, sit and chat and have drinks and so forth. Anyway, after one such session, Don asked me, he said, well, Dan, have you ever thought of maybe starting a dojo out here? Now, here's the funny thing is that the first thing that came to my mind is, out here? Out in Gresham? This is out in the sticks. This is nowhere. But having good manners, I said, well, I hadn't thought of it, but if you happen to see a place that you think is suitable, then let me know. The next day I get a phone call. Dan, I think I found a place. And my first thought this time was, oh, this guy is serious. Anyway, so Christy and I went out and took a look at the location, and it turned out to be unsuitable, but this started out a venture where Don and Christy and Lynn and I would be looking for places, and we finally found one, which I'll show in another video, that was actually in downtown Gresham, and then the wheels started rolling. So they decided that what they would do is they would actually front me in the school, and I would pay X amount for percentage, I can't remember how much, and we got the school started, which was pretty amazing. We were paying the bills within 3 months, and then roughly about a year and a half-ish, or maybe 2 years after we started, I had just a very fortuitous thing happen, which was Kurt, who was the kid, is off to college, and he's no longer pursuing his karate career. So Don and Christy, they asked, good, would you like to buy us out? And my ex-wife Lynn, she just jumped on that right away. Just wham, the check was in the mail, and the Dan Anderson Karate School was now actually ours. And anyway, that's how we got started in Gresham. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention was how much promotional work that Christy did in the very early days. She was getting us demonstrations everywhere, every school. In fact, I had somebody who told me recently, oh yeah, I remember seeing you at a demonstration at Centennial High School. Do you remember that? And it's like, 40 years down the road, I don't remember that at all. But she really, really just busted her behind to make sure that school really got off the ground. And major thanks to both Don and Christy for getting the Dan Anderson Karate School started. We opened up March 15th, 1985. This March 15th in 2025 will be 40 years and will be the last day of operation. So come out and see me on my retirement party from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 301 Northeast Roberts Avenue in Gresham. It'll be a very low-key affair, but come one all, love to see all of you. So there you go, Super Dan, over and out.